Mark, a hard-fought win over Crawley last week. I suppose the ambition now is to go make it 2 League 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it hard fought. I thought we played really well. I didn't think there was much fighting. I thought we played really well and dominated the game. So we've got to try and carry that on now into the weekend. And in my opinion, what will be a really tough game.
Yeah, how different is the challenge? Obviously, Macclesfield in a real spot of bother at the moment, but I suppose that's when teams find out about themselves.
I said to the players this morning, I think it'll be our toughest game of the season. I really do, because after the night they had last night, they're going to come out fighting because there's personal pride at stake. They've got, in my opinion, a really good manager and staff, and we all know how hard it is in the first season after getting promoted to get accustomed to the league. Like I say, they had a tough light last night, but they could have easily been winning the game in the first half an hour. But we're under no illusions. It's going to be a really tough game for us.
And I suppose putting yourselves into their shoes and their mindset, a game against West Ham, all right, yes, you lose 8-0, but that's Premier League and this is League 2. So will they be able to put that to one side, do you feel?
I'm sure they will. They will have had a long trip back. I would probably think they have a day off today, and then they'll be in tomorrow to prepare for the game. But after getting beat like that, it sort of does Mark Yates' team talk for him, because them players are not going to want to be embarrassed, and they're going to come out really fighting and scrap for everything, and we have to be ready for that. I spoke to the players at length today that we have to guard against being complacent. We have to be ready for everything that's thrown at us, and our intensity and desire has to be as good as it's been at any stage this season. And
I suppose with the unbeaten run still intact, you've got something to protect, haven't you? So is there a sort of, do you sense a sense around the players that they're relishing being unbeaten, remaining unbeaten for as long as they possibly can? I'm
sure they feel that, but that means nothing really at 3 o'clock. It's about performing on the day. We can talk all we like, and we have to be ready. 3 o'clock on Saturday, there's no excuses. We have to be sleeves up, chests out, and ready for a battle, because that's what we're going to get. Whenever you go to Macclesfield, it's going to be a tough game, and like I say, we have to be ready. And if we can match what they've got and then play some of our football, then we have a chance.
Is that, do you feel, the key thing in games, to make sure that you get that? Because you've got the quality that actually, if you can get the ball and play, then you've probably got the ability to dominate most teams, haven't you?
Yeah, but we've also showed we can scrap as well. When we have to, we've got some boys in there that will stand up. Digby, Gunning, McGinley, Lloyd James, Mills, Shepherd. We've got boys that will stand up and have a tear up, which is what you need. And if you can play as well, then that's a recipe for good things.
You've just described them as boys. Almost, actually, you've got a lot of men in that team, though, haven't you?
We've got a lot of men in terms of there's quite a lot of games in there. We're not old in age, but we've got some experience on the pitch where I think that they can solve some problems themselves on the pitch, which is what you need.
Yeovil obviously won midweek, just nudge you back down to 8th. How much does that give you another carrot of, look, win, get back in that top 7?
It doesn't come into my thinking at all. It's just the next game, and if you win enough games, everything else takes care of itself.
Injuries, how's the squad?
Everybody that was not available last week is available this week.
Anyone who was available last week, now not available?
Now everybody's available.
I mean, that's a fantastic place to be in a month and a bit into the season.
Yeah, credit to our medical department, to our sports science department for keeping the boys in top-notch condition. The way we play, we have to work hard, and credit to them.
Thanks, Mark. Good luck.
Thanks.
Mark, in terms of team spirit, is this the best team you've had up here at Forest Green?
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I think we've got good characters now throughout the changing room, throughout the squad. That takes a long time to get in a football club. You have to evaluate what you need and where you need it. But you know, a lot of that is down to winning games. Ash, you know, winning games produces a team spirit, promotes a good energy throughout the place, and we have to keep winning games.
Just one more from me. You've always been a hard taskmaster. I sensed on Saturday post-match that although you're pleased with 7th, you want a little bit more.
That's only from what I've seen so far, you know, and looking at the games we've played, we're probably a couple of places lower than we should be, and that's not me being greedy. That's being honest and realistic. So yeah. But listen, I'm happy with where we are, and hopefully more to come.
Cheers.
Mark, you mentioned that those who weren't available last week are now available. Does that mean Lewis Thomas can go back to Yate Town?
All being well, yes. It's important that he plays and continues his development.
And also, in terms of Macclesfield, how do you think their position may be flattered to deceive a bit? Because is it disruptive for them how they lost their manager straight after promotion and they had to get Mark Yates in? Do you think that sort of reflects?
Yeah, it can do. But I know Mark, and he did a fantastic job at Solihull last year. They looked as though they needed snookers at one point, and he somehow kept them up, and he got the Macclesfield job off the back of that. So we know it's going to be a tough game. I'm sure that they'll be ready, they'll be fired up and ready to go on Saturday.
Like you said last week, teams now have a decision to make against your side. Are you sort of expecting them to make the decision like Crawley did, sort of sit back and, you know, backs against the wall type job?
I don't know. You know, I think sometimes you get to a point where, you know, like with Macclesfield, they've not won yet, but they've been close. You know, they were 2-1 up at Swindon on the opening day after 93 minutes and lost 3-2. And sometimes it's fortune favours the brave. They might come out and have a right good go at it, but they've not been on the end of many beatings. They've been really close games. You know, 1 goal in it, so they're not far away. And that's we've got to be ready. We know what's coming.
Right, cheers, thank you.
Thank you.